Get away, my pony boy. Pony boy, won't you be my pony boy?
The wind of heaven is that which blows between a horse's ears. The wind was blowing hard that spring morning. It was as if nature was trying to shout a warning to me. Change is coming. Change is coming. As I headed to class, I thought, sure is windy. Then my phone rang. Hello? RK, fat boy. Hey, Dad. That's how my dad greeted me every time we talked on the phone. There's a wind blowing down there? Yeah, it is. I was just thinking that. You know what they say about the wind and horses? Yeah, I've heard it once or twice. Well, it's true, you know. Yeah. So what's up? She had a baby. The excitement of the moment stopped me in my tracks. I stood there, motionless, just grinning from ear to ear. Okay, I'll be there tonight. I skipped class, went back home, and began to pack. I shoved a pair of boxer shorts and a toothbrush in a plastic Walmart bag. That's how I packed when I was 24, in grad school and in a hurry. The 4-hour drive to my parents felt like I was driving through a space-time continuum. When I finally arrived, I ran inside, yelled, hello, threw my Walmart sack in my old bedroom and headed out to the barn. As I walked through the door, I realized how calm it was. The wind had stopped. And then, like an angel of mercy, out of the darkness, she appeared. My horse. My dad had bought two mares 2 years prior, and when it was confirmed that one of them was pregnant, had promised the foal to me. RK, fat boy. My father had followed me out to the barn. It's a filly. She has a buckskin. It's beautiful. She had jet black stockings on her legs, black mane and tail, fawn-colored coat. I dreamt of this moment since I was 5, becoming a cowboy, training my own horse. I spent many birthdays having cowboy parties, going horseback riding. But growing up, I would just sit out in the pasture and just watch the horses. Just wanted to be near them. I spent as much time as I could with my horse, teaching her to wear a halter, walk on a lead line, and allow humans to rub her belly and pick her feet up. I would drive from Houston to my parents' house every weekend, and during the week if I could. A few months into this routine, as I was working with her, she had had enough. She began to buck and snort. Whoa, she's as hot as cinnamon, my brother said. Yeah, I guess you're right, I thought. And just like that, she was named Canela. That's Spanish for cinnamon. Now, when Canela was a year old, it was time to join up. Now, this is when your horse becomes your companion. The wind was calm that day, as if to tell me to slow down and enjoy this. I got to my parents' house and went out to get Canela. I put the lead line on her, led her to the round pen, a 40-foot diameter circle that's enclosed. The only way in or out of that circle was through me. I led her to the center of the round pen, took off the lead line, and she turned slowly and headed right for the gate to get out. Hope this works, I thought. Ha! I shouted and sent her to the edge of the round pen. I had to allow her to try to get out on her own before she would realize that I was the way out. Then, after several excruciating minutes, it happened. She began to lick and chew. She put her nose right to the ground. That was the sign. I turned my back to her, put my head down, and I waited. She stopped running and looked at me. I waited. I thought, come on, girl. Come on. You can do it. Slowly, tentatively, she began to walk over to me until her nose was right on my shoulder. Good girl, I whispered. I rubbed her neck and walked away. Please work, I thought. Then sure enough, she followed me. First one direction, then the other. I stopped, she stopped. Yes, I thought. She trusts me. We continued to work for the next few months, and shortly after Canela's 2nd birthday, I was able to begin riding her. And that is when I learned the truth of Winston Churchill's quote, There's something about the back of a horse that's good for the inside of a man. I'd gone outside to load the car for my trip to see Canela, and when I came in, my wife was standing in the doorway. I want out. Okay, sure, here, let me get the door for you.
Yeah.
No. I want out. The realization that this was the end of my marriage began to sink in. I stopped and looked at her for a moment. Tried to convince myself I didn't know what she was talking about. Struggled to find something to say. Why? She turned around and walked away. When I got to my parents' house, I went straight out to the barn and got the saddle. I didn't want to face my parents. Unfortunately, my dad saw my car and came out to the barn. Your mother and I just talked to Jenny. Yeah, she told us. Yeah. Just let me go ride. I just need to talk to Canela, I thought. I didn't know what to say to my father. As we rode, the heavy wind began to blow across our ears. I started to cry. I need you right now, I said to her. I don't know what to do. I just need you to help me, girl. She snorted, kept walking. The ride continued, and I poured out my pain to her. I blubbered almost the whole time. And she didn't seem to mind. She just seemed to understand that I was hurting, and I needed her. During the divorce process, I rode almost daily, talking through my problems with Canela, using her back to heal my inside. She got me through it. And later, after I married my current wife, she was even gracious enough to accept her. And when my wife and I had our children, as soon as they were old enough to sit up, I would take them for a ride. And as Canela and I would head out with baby in tow, my wife would call out, "Canela, you take care of my baby." Both of them. She did. She always did. A year ago, on a windy April morning, as I was loading the car for my family's trip to see Canela and my parents, I got a phone call. "Okay, fat boy." "Hey, Dad." "Are you sitting down?" "Why?" "We sold Canela. They're coming to pick her up tomorrow." What? "Your mom and I just can't take care of so many horses now. We had to reduce the herd, and they wouldn't take the other horses without Canela. Can you be here to help load her up?" "What?" Yeah, I'll get there as soon as I can." It was hard not to cry in front of my daughters. When I got close to my parents, the tears began to well up in my eyes. I had to take a minute, take a couple of deep breaths. As we pulled into the driveway, I saw the trailer there to get Canela. My wife took the girls in the house, and I walked out to say goodbye. She saw me. She came walking over to me. "Hey, Nella," I said, trying to maintain my composure. "You be good. You take care of these new kids and this family like you have me in mine." I led her to the trailer, hugged her neck, rubbed her velvet nose, and said, "In my heart, mi corazón." As I watched her, the April wind began to blow. My father came over and put his hand on my shoulder. And we stood there in the wind, and I thought of an old horse saying, "A man might consider his life as having been a good one, if in the course of it, he has had one good horse and one good dog." I'm halfway there.